But I said, isn't there a place we can send these patients to get those patients help with addiction recovery? And he said, well, the closest place is like 30 minutes away. And it wasn't even that close. It was about 45 minutes to an hour. And a lot of patients had issues with, transportation and things like that. So my wife, who has a degree in business, and I teamed up to create a proposal for our hospital to start an addiction recovery program. And so, and then I became board certified in addiction medicine around 2017, and we have a full-fledged addiction recovery program. And it's been amazing to be able to treat those patients while I'm also doing family practice. As we all know, if we've all seen doctors or nurse practitioners or physician assistants, there's a lot missing in healthcare. It's not really the holistic body, mind, spirit practice model that, most of us would like to see. How many of you here have gone to the doctor and felt like in the 10 or 15 minutes that you saw your doctor, you didn't really get what you were looking for, right? You went there for healing and you got a Band-Aid, essentially. Even medications are essentially a Band-Aid. Especially during the pandemic, I started to really realize that healthcare was not how God intended it to be. And it's not really about healing. It's about kind of just patching you up until the next thing. And now there are some practices that are more holistically minded. My current doctor, who I see, who is a Christian, so he does have that kind of body, mind, spirit mindset, is actually leaving the conventional family practice that he's in to do a holistic practice. And I'm taking over his practice. But I have the opportunity that I'm still in addiction medicine, and I feel like that gives me a chance to do more of a holistic practice model. But I really felt like during the pandemic, there was a real loss of that doctor-patient connection. And it really brought to my attention the need for shared decision-making, patients involved in their care, patients, being proactive, doctors educating patients so that you can make healthy medical decisions. So because of that, I really was thinking, gosh, I really need to educate myself, because I felt like in medical school, I didn't learn all the things that you really need to know to teach patients to be well. You learn how to prescribe medications is what you learn how to do. And you learn what those medications do, you learn what their side effects are, and you learn what diseases to prescribe them for, what mental states to prescribe them for. And so it's just a lot of prescribing. It's not a lot of healing. Now, surgical, specialties, it's more direct. There seems to be like, what the problem is, you remove it, or you patch it up and there's a healing process. But really, healing is a natural process that happens in the human body. And what we need to be teaching patients is how to support and augment that process so that your body heals itself. That's really how God made us. Our bodies heal themselves, and we need to support that. And so I decided to write this book. Now, the other thing was this kind of, live free or diet is really about breaking the cycle of binging and purging. It's about finding faith, freedom, and an abundant life. I could have titled this talk, Stop Binging, Start Purging. But I thought that was a little on the nose, and the connotation of purging, I didn't know what that would bring up. But anyway, I wrote this book basically because I realized that in 15 minutes of a patient visit, I can't give to patients what they really need. And I also realized that as a believer, even though as a believer, I do want to impart the love of God to patients, and I want to teach them these things that are needed for life and godliness and growth and healing, I find that hard to do in 15 minutes when I have a lot to cover. So I decided to write this book to basically put a holistic doctor in your pocket.